Clint Eastwood stands as one of Hollywood's last true giants, the man who transformed quiet strength into an art form. For over 7 decades, he has ruled both sides of the camera with an unshakable will and timeless grace. His steel gaze became a symbol of American endurance, while his legacy transcended cinema to become a philosophy of life itself. From a struggling boy of the Great Depression to a $400 million empire of land, art, and influence, Eastwood's journey is not just a story of success. It's a saga of grit, solitude, and a relentless pursuit of meaning. The roots of a legend, a child of the Great Depression. Clint Eastwood's story began in hardship. Born in 1930 during the Great Depression, his family lived a nomadic life across California, chasing work and stability. His father's layoffs and his mother's quiet strength defined his early years, lessons in survival wrapped in silence. They often slept in their car when rent ran out, and little Clint grew up understanding that comfort was temporary. That silence, the tension between his parents, the cold nights, and the shame of poverty became his emotional training ground. It taught him that strength isn't loud, it's steady. Those restless childhood moves built in him a lifelong hunger for permanence, the foundation of the man who would later build empires from nothing but determination and self-discipline. The ocean that changed everything: death, survival, and rebirth. At just 21, Clint Eastwood faced death in the Pacific Ocean. In 1951, his military aircraft crashed off the California coast, leaving him stranded in freezing waters for hours. With no life vest and no rescue in sight, he swam miles through black waves, clinging to survival by sheer will. That near-death experience marked him forever. It taught him that life could vanish in an instant, and time was the only real wealth. After that night, Clint lived with relentless purpose, never wasting a moment. On film sets, he worked fast and efficiently, valuing time like a currency. That survival instinct became his identity, the reason he built his world around permanence, control, and focus. The boy who nearly drowned learned that endurance wasn't about strength. It was about never letting go. The quiet struggle, Hollywood's invisible man. When Clint first arrived in Hollywood in the 1950s, he was just another nameless dreamer with calloused hands and an empty wallet. He slept in his car, took odd jobs, and faced constant rejection. Casting agents dismissed him as too stiff, too quiet. Yet instead of talking his way to fame, he watched, listened, and learned. He studied the rhythm of silence, how pauses could speak louder than words. That patience became his weapon. His big break came with the TV show Rawhide, where his calm presence made him unforgettable. For Clint, stillness became his superpower. The man once ignored for being quiet became the face of a new kind of hero, one who didn't need words to command a room. Hollywood, for the first time, stopped talking and started listening. The birth of a legend. The man with no name, Clint Eastwood's transformation from TV cowboy to global icon began in Italy with Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars. Ironically, he almost rejected the role because it had little dialogue, yet that silence became history. The rugged anti-hero he portrayed, silent, unflinching, mysterious, was a mirror of his own soul. With For a Few Dollars More and the good, the bad, and the ugly, he became an international symbol of resilience. Behind those iconic squints and long pauses were decades of poverty, endurance, and solitude. He wasn't performing, he was remembering. Those films didn't just create a new genre, they redefined masculinity itself. In every dusty stare, audiences saw a truth born not from fiction, but from the silence of a boy who once had nothing. Building his own empire, Malpaso, and the power of independence. By the 1970s, Clint had conquered fame, but wanted freedom. Refusing to let studios dictate his vision, he founded Malpaso Productions, a small company with one goal: control his art and his time. His first directorial film, Play Misty for Me, proved he could command both camera and story. From there, his discipline became legendary. He shot films ahead of schedule and under budget, turning efficiency into artistry. With masterpieces like Unforgiven, $1 Million Baby, and Gran Torino, he proved that silence could carry emotion and morality could come from flawed men. Each project deepened his empire, built not from luxury but permanence. His ranches, inns, and homes, especially the restored Mission Ranch Inn, became symbols of survival turned into serenity. Clint didn't build for wealth. He built to stay still, to own the time he once nearly lost to the sea. The wealth of stillness, from poverty to empire. Clint Eastwood's fortune, estimated at over $400 million, tells a story of transformation, not excess. From Carmel's Mission Ranch to the Tehama Golf Club in Monterey, his estates represent a man reclaiming permanence. Each brick, each acre, is an act of defiance against the instability of his youth. Yet, unlike many in Hollywood, Eastwood's wealth is quiet, rooted in simplicity and purpose. He doesn't flaunt luxury, he preserves it. His discipline on set mirrors his discipline in life. Build carefully, own completely, waste nothing. To his colleagues, he remains a paradox, a man of immense power who rarely raises his voice. In his silence lies command. His empire is not built on greed, but gratitude. The gratitude of a man who once had nothing and now owns the peace he once only dreamed of. The cost of greatness: love, loss, and loneliness. Behind Clint's fame lies a quieter story, one of broken love and scattered family. His first wife, Maggie Johnson, believed in him before the world did. She ironed his shirts for auditions and endured years of loneliness as fame pulled him away. Their marriage brought 2 children, Kyle and Allison, but distance eroded the bond. As Clint's career soared, rumors of affairs surfaced, leading to a complex web of relationships and children, 8 in total from 6 women. Each child carried his features, but not always his presence. Clint once said, "Being known doesn't mean being understood." His success came at the price of connection. The man who built permanence in land struggled to find it in love. His silence, once his strength, became a wall, protecting him from pain but also keeping him from warmth. The legacy of a lifetime, from survival to immortality. Today, Clint Eastwood stands as more than an actor, director, or icon. He is a living philosophy. His story is a reminder that resilience is not about noise, but focus. From the hungry boy sleeping in cars to the Hollywood legend commanding global respect, he turned hardship into heritage. His films, Unforgiven, Gran Torino, $1 Million Baby, are not just entertainment. They are meditations on redemption, silence, and self-reliance. At 95, he remains a mountain unmoved by time, living proof that strength doesn't need to shout. Clint Eastwood's legacy will endure not because of fame or fortune, but because he built a life and a legend that will never be washed away. Epilogue: the stillness that stays. In the end, Clint Eastwood's greatest creation is not a film or a fortune, it's himself. The boy who once drifted from town to town finally built something immovable: peace. His silence, once born of hunger and fear, became the voice of strength. Every frame he directed, every acre he restored, every scar he carried spoke the same truth: nothing is permanent unless you build it yourself. The ocean that tried to take him became the metaphor for his life: vast, relentless, and unstoppable. Clint Eastwood didn't just survive Hollywood, he conquered it quietly. And long after the lights fade and the reels stop turning, his gaze will remain, steady, timeless, unbroken.